Guys, welcome. I'm here today at the all-new Subdial Clubhouse in London, and we're having a breakfast where we're not in the office, we're not doing spreadsheets, we're not doing anything important, which is fantastic news, but we're here talking watches. We're here with Pragma. Chris Wegner, the co-founder of the brand. It's one of the most exciting indies out there, ex-Laurent Ferrier watchmaker, ex-FP Journe watchmaker, and we're going to get hands-on with some of his first series of watches, diving into the dials, the cases, the movements, and why they're exciting and why you should keep an eye out for them. Let's get into it. Right, guys, please forgive us because there might be some background noise, but it's because people are still enjoying their croissants and their coffees in the background. Chris, you've come all the way over from Switzerland for this morning. Give us a quick brief for those that don't know your personal background. Give us a story on how you got into watchmaking to start with.
So watchmaking, it was a project that I started really early. So at 15, I started watchmaking school at Rolex. And since that day, I never left the tools and the bench. Of course, I'm doing a bit more than a bench today, but the passion started really early. Yeah, as you know, when you start interesting in watch, you really always go deep into it. So it was like a big tornado of watches and projects. So yeah.
Did you have family who worked in watches or no?
Never, but I remember small because my parents told me that I received already small flick flack, and of course I start to destroy them because I want to see what's happening inside. I never managed to rebuild them, of course, because nobody told me that Swatch you can only build it, not destroying them. So rebuild them. So yeah, that was the beginning of the story, basically.
And Chris, what constitutes a great watch for you in your mind? Is it about finishing? Is it about technical prowess? Is it about visual DNA? Because we're in an age now where there are lots of great, highly finished watches in the market. Is that the definition of a great watch in your mind? What is it?
For me, I will say the first will be 2 points. It will be the design and precision and reliability. I want that the product can last long and is in the same time beautiful. That's my of course own interpretation, but of course finishing, it's absolutely important. The ingenuity also, how the movement is built. But the first look is like when we present Russell, the first impression is the first look, and that has to be really important. That's what caught your eyes, and that's what bring you to to know more about it. So yeah, of course.
You've been with Rolex, as you mentioned. You've been with Laurent Ferrier. You've been with FP Journe. Just give us a brief on maybe the highlight of what you took away from those brands as the experience that you've now put into your own brand.
Yeah, I will say for François-Paul Journe, of course, the movements, the finishing, but I like the consistency on the design. About the different piece he do, you always have this like line that follow all the collection. That's something we love it. Laurent Ferrier, I will say the detail on the case, the hand and the dial. I like, for example, how the index follow the hands. So that's some let's say ID. We also have a lot of we use it as in imagination to make our own interpretation of it. Yeah.
And then what gave you the impetus to start this brand of your own, Pragma? Where did that come from? Did you wake up one morning, Sunday morning, coffee, and you thought, you know what, it's my time, pardon the pun, it's time?
No, the project of doing the brand was there really, really early. Actually, even as a student at Rolex, I was thinking, okay, when I finish the apprenticeship, I will start my own brand. Of course, it was not possible. So much more knowledge to get, experience to have. It was about how I can bring together a good team, of course, because I want to have this idea about the design, the consistency on the design. So when I managed to bring the team together, I said now it's the good time to build Pragma. So it was a question of time and the right people. Yeah.
So when did you officially start the brand? What was what month, what year?
The year it was beginning of 2020 during traveling to Japan.
Okay.
I met a guy because in elevator tried to speak about watches. He saw that I was a huge collector, a fan of everything. He himself too, and he say, "Listen, guy, why do you don't do your own brand?" Say, why not? And say, why not? You know. And few months after it was COVID, say, we have a lot of time to think about that. And at this time I said, okay, let's bring people together to make it happen. So it takes 3 years of reflection, conception, and after we moved to production. And so it was long.
Tell me that he's one of the first buyers of the first series.
Yes, it is. Yes,
is he really?
Yeah,
is he? That's so cool. That is so cool. Let's talk about the visual and the design DNA, because for me, the one thing that really struck me was an idea that I had not seen in watchmaking before. I love furniture. I love mid-century design. And to me, great quality furniture is always when you can see the cabinetry work, the joinery. And you look at the case here, and the first thing I noticed was the way you guys have been inspired by this idea of cabinetry. What is the design here? What is the philosophy?
My partner is industrial designer, so he studied not designing watch, but we have a lot of inspiration about architecture, thinking, let's say, thinking outside the box, not just thinking, oh, let's make a crown, hands, and so we try to make something that is different, but we still have the idea to have a watch with hands, dies, and lugs. So how with this, let's say, package, we can still create our own design. So it takes us so much time to bring with this idea of connection, the construction of the case, allowing us, because I like, for me, when you have a nice car, you always have this line or that create the silhouette of the car. So that we need to bring something also that create the silhouette of the watch. And so the only way to do that, it was not only the shape, but only playing with the material. So the material is playing with the finishing, how we finish the component, polish, satin. And when we're bringing all the components, that create the case. So it was a long way to construct this idea and to make it happen this way. So yeah.
If we start with the case for me, as well as this cabinetry element, this craft element, it's very sharp. It's very angular. It could be considered aggressive. On the wrist, it has a stance to it, almost like a supercar. Like, I'm not a car guy at all, but the fact that the car is tuned and it's ready to go, it feels like it's almost tuned. It's flat, it's sharp, it's angular, it's bold. Unlike anything else, even to the extent that the buckle has the same sense. And the crown has this really beautiful wind to it, where it's very easy to wind because it's got this knurling to it.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to create when you were thinking of the case?
Yeah, we want to have really something that is strong. I like the way you say bold, but if you create something that's too round, you lose a bit of this design. So at the end, we say we have to go 100% the direction we want. And of course, sometimes people say it's a bit aggressive, but as you say, the bezel, the back bezel push the watch out of the wrist, so it's never in contact with the flesh. And after, it's all about the consistency. You say the crown, you have the double crown, finishing the double index, the hands also the double counters, the double square. So for me, the consistency has to come from one beginning of the strap to the buckle. Everything has to be consistent. Nothing is led to hazard or the surprise. So we think about all the component through. So
it's interesting you say double. I was going to say broken, because you've got broken lugs that are sliced in half. The hour marker has the slice there, so the loom is separate. The date window has a sort of a segregation to it. The running seconds has seconds that are segmented. So there's a break, there's a double, there's a play there.
But also the polish and the satinate, so it's always opposition coming together.
And it's funny, we're here surrounded by vintage watches here, and neo-vintage watches. And of course, the minute you see a case that's been overly polished, you lose the joy. And collectors, we know, are particular about not over-polishing, because you lose that shape. This would be very obvious if it were polished, because it is so angular that this cannot really live in the same entity, the same visual design that you had in your mind if it had been aggressively polished.
But the case will also think how we can easily restore or refresh it with polishing. So all components come together easily, and we can work on separate components and bring it back as a two and an ensemble. So yeah.
How does it come together? How does this case actually come together?
So basically, we have the middle parts, called in French la carrure, and after we have the bezel and the back. And so the bezel and the back basically fix all the components together and also create the waterproof.
Like a triptych. So we've got a triptych case. We've got the bezel, the case back, the central case, the bulk of the case itself.
And we call it the intermediary bezel. So the piece that's in between are basically fits like a puzzle. So they go inside without any small movement, but after it's locked with the screw from the bezel and the back.
Okay. One thing we have to touch on the dial side before we move on to the movement, which might just be my favorite part of the watch, is that you've chosen not to have the name on the dial. And I said that to you months ago. I said it must have been a big conversation amongst the team, a heated conversation that really should have been videotaped and shared publicly about the decision to not have the name on the dial.
It was a long discussion. We tried to put it somewhere. It was just not following the aesthetic. It was a bit, it was not fitting the perfect place. And without, it was more beautiful because we have this symmetry, we have the simplicity of the watch. And after we say also we are a young brand, we can put the logo huge or small, it not change anything. So we take the risk not to putting, and we don't put in also any logo on the crown or on the buckle. I think the design, I want that the design speak by itself, and the identity of the piece is our logo, is Pragma. And if we can manage to do that and remove the logo, I think we success something. It's a success of the design.
It's so bold because this is your first series of watches, isn't it? I love the audacity of it when you really think about it, because you've got some brands that haven't put their the ultimate test, of course. Can you take the name off of a dial and know what it is?
Yeah.
That's always the ultimate test of great design.
You take the name out of the reverso, it's still a reverso. So.
But yet you guys are so new. This is your first series of watches. I love the audacity to say, you know what, we believe in this design, so wholeheartedly that we don't feel we need to.
Yeah.
However, the movement does have Pragma on the back.
The movement has the name on it, yeah.
Okay, tell us about the movement.
So the movement, for the first watch, I really want to have this statement watch. I want the watch with second, date, hour, minutes, and automatic, because I want to come with a statement watch that is a daily watch. It's a perfect fit for working, but social networking. I want to do something that fits every situation. So I want to go with this automatic movement. That's not usually the first choice for a watchmaker. Prefer to choosing something without automatic to really push out the movement. But I think almost all of the watch in my collection are automatic pieces.
You managed to keep it quite thin, despite the fact it's automatic as well.
So we use, Pragma is a fully transparent brand. We choose to work with Chronote for this first piece because allowing us to use the material we want, the finishing we want, the indication, and also allowed us to have the certification Chronomet because, perhaps, like I said before, with my background, precision is still something really important. So I want to bring also to the public that we are a young brand, but we can still achieve the highest quality.
Yes.
So it's like this. That's why I speak about statement, 100% Swiss made, sustainable, transparent. So I want to bring in this industry some value that I want to share to the public. Yeah. So that's important. Yeah.
Tell us about the material, the case, the movement material, the rotor itself, and the level of finishing, because all of those are important aspects.
So we use this specific titanium that is 100% recycled. We say, okay, we launched something new. We had to think about that, also try if we can achieve the best quality, also using sustainable material, we do it. Not doing is, I think it's a mistake.
Has Chronote ever produced this before using titanium?
Not recycled titanium.
So this is the first time?
It's the first time, yeah. And after, we also use it for the rotor. Of course, titanium rotor is not working, so we put some platinum outside to increase the weight of the rotor to keep it the automatic well function. And after, a lot of component also in steel, because for me this work on the black polish finishing, it's really important. It's bring me back to all my years at the bench.
Yeah.
It's a time for the watchmaker to take the time for me myself, because I can think, I can it's like going into a trance when you do this finishing, because you quiet
Meditation. Yeah.
So it's really peaceful, and I like to do that. So I want also to bring that to the watch. And after, of course, the titanium, all the angle I polish. It's hand finish, but it's still industrial processing.
It feels to me like it's found a nice balance between handwork, hand finishing, black polishing, screw heads. How would you describe this Soleil?
It's the Côte de Genève Soleil.
It's Côte de Genève.
Côte de Genève. I really want to bring the best possible finishing on the watch. I still want to have this approach that is the best finishing at the best price possible too.
Final two things before we finish up. The philosophy of the brand. Let's just talk about the philosophy, the ethics of sustainability. Production. So how many of these watches have been made or being made, and at what price?
So the first production we launched was 25 piece. We already launched a new series of 25. So for the moment,
different executions,
with different dial, of course. We had the specific purple one for the launch. The novelty here with the two material, and the black and the gray that will be always in the collection. Mm-hmm. And that's really the first series we have done. The gray and the black are at 31,000 Swiss francs without taxes.
Okay.
A bit more when it comes to limited series, but we don't want to do limited series. We just done a specific watch with the purple die for the launch of the company.
And sorry, we didn't say, but 40 mil case.
39.
39.
The Swiss
cost. Makes a big difference. And if someone wanted to order these, they have to order through you directly at the moment, because we don't have any retail partners.
No, we have one retail in the US for the moment. It's Jeremy Oster Jewelry, and we're speaking with other company for the moment. But for the moment, we do direct sales, and people can easily contact us to have more information. So yeah.
Brilliant. And there's still some of those available. Presumably, you're working on the next.
We have few of them left on the first series.
Okay.
And we're working on the new pieces also. So
okay, brilliant. Are we expecting to see more of the same, or will we see a complete shift in the next series to something with a new complication?
Without being too much, I will say we'll have two declinations that we're working on it with a lot of still different aspects, perhaps something more artistic and something more sporty. Okay. And on the long run, we're working on something more, a bit more also on the movement. But that's, we'll say perhaps not next year, the 2027. Even if we try to master time, it's go too fast for everybody.
Of course. No, Chris, thank you so much. Lovely to chat, man.
Merci à toi.
Thank you guys for tuning in as always. I've got to say finally, Chris and I, not dissimilar age, we've spoken a lot off of camera. There's something to just be said for starting something of your own. It takes so much courage to start something of your own, some real nuts, and I so respect what you guys are doing, and the fact that it's in the watch world, I love it. So there you go, that's Pragma. Please get behind them, leave your comments below, would love to read. We'll both respond to anything we see below. So until next time, go well.
Merci.